What's up, everybody? It's your boy Sergio Gibran. That's right, Gibran. It's my middle name. It's what I've been going by this past year while I've been living in Mexico. So yeah, I'm living in Mexico. I've been here for the past year and a half, and as you can tell from the title, it hasn't been by choice. So without further ado, this is a story
all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how I became the prince of a town called León, Guanajuato.
My story begins on June 4th, 2018, when I took a flight down from Houston to my hometown of
León, Guanajuato.
I came down here for what was supposed to be a 2-week trip. During those 2 weeks, I spent a lot of time with my family. I traveled to Mexico City, ate tons and tons and tons of delicious food, as well as worked on the family business. When the time came on June 19th to get back to Houston, needless to say, I was upset. But I had to get back. My family was there, my family business was there, my school was there, my life was in the States. But I was also happy because my grandma came with me. That's one of the reasons that I also came down to León, was that so my grandma could fly back with me. She's older, so it's more difficult now for her to travel alone. Once we arrived in Houston, we waited in line to get called up by an immigration officer. The usual routine, they let my grandmother through, but I was escorted into another room for further questioning. Now, this was not the first time that I was pulled aside by immigration. I was legally living in the United States under student visa. This student visa allowed me to travel in and out of the country within a set period of time, usually 30 days maximum. The issue was that I was issued this visa inside the United States. If you have ever had to apply for a visa, you know that you have to apply for such visa outside of the country for which you are applying that visa for. So, since I applied for the United States visa inside the United States, I was never issued a physical visa on my passport. If you have visas, you know that they stamp the visa on your passport or they give you an actual visa card. In my case, I didn't have that. I only had a document that showed my legal status. Now, with this document, I had traveled many times before, but since this is not a common thing, immigration officers weren't really informed of it, they were not used to it, so they always would pull us aside for further questioning, but we were always let through, but not this time. I was held in immigration for over 24 hours. Multiple officers questioned me throughout the night. I tried to keep a positive mental attitude like I usually do, but as the hours passed and as more and more officers questioned me without being able to give me an answer, or without me being able to give them the answer that they needed, I began to get a little nervous. I was questioned further and further until I was finally pulled into a room for what would be my interview with the final immigration officer. This officer proceeded to ask me numerous questions about my origins, where I was coming from, what I was doing in the States, how long I had been living there. Before she began the interview, she explained to me that this interview was going to decide if I was going to be let into this country or not. I was a little bit nervous at this point. After of what felt to me like hours, the interview was over and the officer walked out. She came back and and it was decided that I was not going to be let into the country. I was told that I did not possess the right documentation to enter the country, and I had two choices. Either sign this document which stated that I was voluntarily withdrawing my application to come into the country, which basically means I'm voluntarily leaving the country. I mean, I never really was in it. I mean, I guess I technically was, but or I could not sign it and they would basically cancel my visa for 5 years and I would really be in trouble. I pretty much had my hands tied behind my back. There was nothing I could do. I was put on a plane back to Mexico. Probably the toughest night I've ever spent in my life, and once I was told that I wasn't going to be let in, it really sunk in. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was in shock. I was put back on a plane back to Mexico City, not even to my hometown, because I made the connection from Mexico City to Houston. So I was back in Mexico City trying to keep still a positive attitude. I said, well, you know, everything happens for a reason. I'm going to reapply for my visa, and it's going to be approved, and I'm gonna have it stamped on my passport, and I'm not gonna have any issues coming back into the country further on. So I said, this is good. I mean, you know me, always trying to look at the glass half full, trying to look at things positively. So I did just that. I went to Guadalajara, which is where the US consulate is, and I reapplied for my visa. I went to Guadalajara twice, only to have my student visa application denied. And that's when it hit me. That's when it really hit me. I wasn't going to see my family for a long time. But this is not a sad story. This is a story about how I have made this year the best year of my life.
3 weeks later.
Yes, it took me 3 weeks to get back in front of the camera and finish this video. Coincidentally, I'm wearing the same shirt that I was wearing when I started recording this video. So I promise I have not been wearing the same shirt for 3 weeks. Even though I have been away from my family for this past year and a half, it truly has been the best year of my life. This past year, I've traveled to more places than I had ever traveled to in my entire life. I've eaten so much delicious food, cooked a bunch of delicious food, vegan food. Right before I came to Mexico, I decided that I was no longer gonna eat meat, that I was gonna follow a plant-based diet. So when I came here, I wanted to stick with that, and I've done it. It has been hard, it has not been easy, but I've been doing it for the time that I've been here. It's been a year and a half, and I've cooked a bunch of good stuff. I found a bunch of good restaurants to eat around town, but mainly I eat at home and I eat delicious. I bought a motorcycle without ever had ridden one before. I rode it around for a while. I actually bought it for work. I worked as an Uber Eats. It was for a different company. I worked as that for a little bit on my badass motorcycle. I still have it. I fell off of it a couple of times. Don't tell my mom. It's been awesome. I love motorcycles now. driving a car now, but I still love motorcycles, and I'm not gonna sell my baby. And I actually want to buy either a chopper or I want to buy like a speed bike, you know, a nicer one. But you know, my family's telling me not to. After doing that whole food delivery thing for a couple of months, you know, it was good at the beginning, but the money started slowing down, and the fact that I fell off the motorcycle twice really made me realize that I probably shouldn't be doing that when I speak another language. So that's when I decided, hey, what if, now hear me out, what if I become a teacher? And I did just that. I became an English teacher, and it has been the best experience of my life. I've never felt so fulfilled doing something before. I never saw myself as a teacher. I had no experience teaching, but as soon as I got in there, I was like a fish in the ocean, or I don't know what. I was really good at it, okay? I was a natural. I was myself, my classes were entertaining, they were fun, and people were actually learning. It was crazy that I was doing this, that I was teaching people. And I would see the look on the face of my students every time that they understood a topic, or every time that I taught them something. It was just unbelievable. It really warmed my heart, and it's been a lot of fun. I actually had a student who reached out to me and asked for help translating his resume into English because he wanted to go work in the States. So of course I did just that. This student like lived America. He loved football, he loved country music. His dream was to go to the States. He was like a typical American boy trapped in a Mexican body. And he actually got an offer from an American company to go work in the States. And when he told me that, I think that's been the proudest that I've ever been in any job. For him to be able to go to the States and work there legally and be able to fulfill his dream, and for me to have been able to have been a part of that is just, it's incredible, it's unbelievable. Needless to say, I have been enjoying the teaching life so much, and I'm so happy that I found this calling, and I look forward to continuing this journey, maybe teach in other countries, who knows. I mean, this is a skill that I can take with me anywhere, so I'm excited to see where that goes. Guys, I've experienced so much this past year, and I've been documenting it all. I'm gonna show you how I'm living this Mexico life. The food, the people, the culture, traditions, everything. You are gonna see what Mexico is really like. I've been wanting to start this channel for so long. It's way overdue, but now is the time. But I don't want this to be just a travel channel. I want to bring you guys more than that. I want to bring you value, whether it is through recipes that are plant-based, or just sitting down and talking about topics that interest me, because to be honest with you guys, we are all going through some shit. We all got problems, and we think that we're alone figuring this thing out, but we're really not. A lot of us are going through it. A lot of y'all went to high school with me, and I see you doing your thing, starting businesses, going to school, having family, or just simply trying to figure it all out. And I believe that's where we all are at, trying to figure it out, because trust me, not even your parents have it figured out. So what the hell do we know? I want to build a community where we can all connect and talk, whether I've known you since middle school, high school, college, or I've met you this past year. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we haven't talked in years. I want to know what's been going on with you in your life. Let's catch up. Let's talk. Let's connect. A lot of times life is not about what you know, but who you know. We see each other online on social media, but we don't reach out to each other. Shit, we don't even like our stuff sometimes. But I want to change that. I want to connect with you. I want to know what's been going on with you. Talk to me. Talk to each other. Quit simply following each other on social media. No, I just want you all to be friends. So if you're down to experience all of this with me, if you're down to be part of this community, subscribe to the channel, share the video, follow me on Instagram, drop me a comment down below, send me a message on Instagram, let me know you watched the video, let me know what's been up with you, and I'll see you next time. Why is the lighting doing that?